Bitcoin is down by more than 70% from the all-time high. But who's benefiting from all of this risk? Who's benefiting from the price going down that much? I think when we look at this from a very fundamental perspective, and hear me out on this, I think it's very likely that you are going to be the beneficiary of this. And that's because you are watching this video. You are part of the minority. If we currently look at the social metrics around crypto channels on YouTube, for example, the growth across many channels is very, very low. There's very few new subscribers to any channel now. So all the views that currently go to the YouTube channels that discuss crypto, they are from the existing audience, basically. So you are currently watching because you are sticking around, and most people aren't, right? There's no new people coming in. So the likelihood of you having a longer time horizon, or at least having like a stronger interest in the topic than the average Joe, is very high. Meaning, when you've got a longer time horizon, you're likely also going to outperform. And why is that? Because this high volatility in Bitcoin or in crypto in general, it flushes out all those short-term speculative money, right? If you just try to ride the short-term wave, you just try to ride the momentum in the short term, then when momentum turns around, you also exit the market. You don't want to have anything to do with it. But if you do the fundamental long-term research, that's different, right? You're okay to hold through the bear markets. You're okay to continue to dollar cost average in, even if everybody else says you shouldn't do so, even if nobody watches you anymore doing this. Right? It's not fancy anymore to buy Bitcoin or to buy crypto. That's very different to say 1 year ago. And so when you're still watching this, there's a good chance that you're still investing, that you still continue to buy those lows, and that you're willing to endure all of these bearish and bad and potentially depressing times. But that's what you gotta do, right? You have to be against the general market. You have to be part of the minority in order to outperform. Per definition, the majority cannot outperform. It's only the minority that can make more gains than the average. And so we can be kind of lucky that all of this volatility exists in Bitcoin, that there are all of these drawdowns. Because if we are deeply convinced that Bitcoin is the hardest of the monies, and then when fiat inflates too much, that over the long term, with the limited supply of Bitcoin, that Bitcoin will rise against fiat. If we have all of this conviction, then we can ride out all of that volatility, and then the strong volatility is an opportunity, right? If you have a less volatile asset, you never have depressed prices. You can never really take advantage of any of this. But given that there is still such an immaturity in the Bitcoin market, on the crypto market as a whole, we can benefit from this. And that's basically how I see this. We can all be lucky. We simply just have to be strong enough to continue buying and to still be okay, even if we go further down. That's very much possible. Nobody can time the perfect bottom, right? When I started to dollar cost average into Bitcoin after the 2018 peak, right? When we peaked at around 20K in Bitcoin, I started dollar cost averaging at around 7K. And I bought and I bought and I bought. And everybody thought that 6K would be the bottom. So when you look at the price chart of Bitcoin at the time, you really see how 6K was pretty much the floor, and the price never went below this. So people really expected that 6K is the bottom. But what then happened was a final capitulation down to 3.5K. So almost another 50% drop again after we have already seen that floor for like more than half a year. And so that's simply what we have to be prepared for, right? When people think it can't get worse, it might actually. Maybe we have another sell wave of miners that have to sell because the price is too low and maybe their costs were too high. Maybe we've got another kind of bankruptcy run of centralized exchanges. Coinbase is also not in the very best shape. So there's all kinds of risk in the crypto market, right? There's also Tether that's already for like a very, very long time being discussed as not being fully backed. So maybe there comes regulation around that tells that they have to really do proper accounting to show that they've got the reserves they claim they have. So there are obviously risks, and nobody can foresee the black swan events, also macroeconomic black swan events, right? Are we going to see maybe the monkeypox becoming the new corona? Are we going to see an escalation of the Ukraine war? Are we going to see even higher inflation rates than everybody now expects? Nobody knows what kind of headwinds might come. But as said, right, if we have a fundamental conviction in Bitcoin being long-term the better vehicle to save money in than, say, fiat, for example, or even stocks, because it's a global way to save money, it can cross borders easily, etc. If we believe in the fundamental properties of Bitcoin, then the fundamentals will play out over the long term. That's how I see it. That's why I continue to dollar cost average in. And that's why I'm okay with depressed prices. I even like them. They don't feel great at the time, but in hindsight, right, these are the prices that you want to be buying at. And in my opinion, right, it's my opinion, it's no financial advice, of course, but I personally act on this. I think it's unlikely that Bitcoin is going to be lower than it is today, say 5 years from now. And we simply just have to broaden our time horizon, right? When you buy a house, you don't want to sell it in 6 months or in 1 year usually. You have a longer time horizon, and simply have longer time horizons for investments. The longer the time horizon you have, the more likely you are going to be on the winning side for any asset, and for Bitcoin that's no different. So I hope you enjoyed this video. There's another interesting discussion over here. Hope you're gonna watch that too. See you in that video. Thanks for watching this one. Bye bye.